Hi, Adea.
Hello, Pal.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are we doing?
Good doing fine.
Okay. So I started the recording as well.
Okay, then let me behave myself.
Okay. All right. Um, Hi, Josh.
Hmm. Hi, hi there. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm good.
Okay, that's
And
good.
good evening to everyone.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, Adea, that's my uncle.
Your uncle.
Yes, he's always on every episode.
Hello, uncle. Thanks for the support.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll start. Time is going. Okay, so Adia, we just want you to tell us about yourself, your journey, what led you into software quality assurance. Um, yeah, so we'll start with that.
Okay, so a little about me. Um, I've stayed in Accra all my life and schooled. I think starting from the tech part will be doing computer science in um, uni. That's in Legon. And then I just knew because I did computer science, I think my mind was set on tech, right? I wasn't really looking at any other field per se. But even in tech, I wasn't really settled on what I really wanted to do. Everything was a lot. And I must say, even as at the time I'd finished school, I wasn't really sure what I really wanted to do. And so I think I did my national service in the University of Ghana Computing Systems. I worked in the hardware, department where they fix the PCs and all that. Because there was this other part of me that wanted to do something electrical, something hands on and all that. Um, so even when we were buying forms in SHS to go to school, I wanted to do electrical engineering in tech. So I bought that too. But the electrical engineering didn't come on. So Charlie went for a computer science in Legon. And after NSS, I think I did a few other jobs related to tech. I was supporting an application. I worked there for about 6 months. And then in that company, I think he wanted to the owner of the business wanted to close down the business, right? So he closed it down, and then I was home for a while. So within that time that I was home, I was learning.
Hmm.
I was learning, like trying to build websites and applications and all that. And then a friend of mine called me, and I was still applying for other jobs as well. And then a friend of mine, Wendell, told me about this opportunity in his company. So I applied, I got it. I really didn't know what I was going to do, but I just know it was in tech. I was open to learn and all that. So the job was explained and it was testing. But this time around, it wasn't the testing I knew now. It was company that wanted to build an automation to a test automation tool, right? And they were giving this service to BMW, if I'm right. I think BMW. And they needed to break down the test cases into very like short steps and all that. So it was more on automation. I was introduced to automation first. I knew nothing about what we call manual testing and all that. I was just introduced to that. So the CEO of the company then was So it was more like I was employed in that company for another company. Okay, I don't know if you know. You know, there are some companies who outsource for other people outside.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that was it. So I was working with this guy in Germany, and that's done. And he really loved testing. He used to tell us, we're actually four. He used to tell us a lot about testing. He would send us books to read. I think, I don't know, but I feel I was the only one who was reading the book. Some of us, some other, there were the ones, the other people who were reading because he wanted us to really understand the whole thing, what we are trying to do. So we read books on continuous integration and continuous testing and all that. And then it got to a time he wanted to move on without us. But some way, somehow, I think amongst the four of us, I still wanted to do testing. I don't know, I just fell in love with it. And I actually decided to learn when anytime I wanted to learn programming to build an application, I don't know, I just lost interest. But immediately I decided to just learn this programming for the sake of software testing and test automation. I think I just found the flow. It was so easy for me. I started learning Java. I took books to learn Java and started coding in Java myself, and just for testing sake, not for building application. So that's how it started. And I told Dan, I think I'll give him the credit. He really encouraged me, even though I wasn't working with him anymore. He really encouraged me. He sent me loads of books and resources. I was so buried in them then, reading so much. Yeah, so we started testing applications for the company that took us in first. I mean, the in-house applications, and then giving feedback to the team and all that till I left it to another place. So that's how testing really started for me over there. Yeah, and that's how I started the meetup group, Ministry of Testing, Accra. It's now Ministry of Testing Ghana, because I felt alone then, because I really wasn't finding software testers around or QA engineers around at all. You go to LinkedIn and you find some few people. I think I contacted the people I found, but now you just don't have to suffer. You just type in and get a lot of people to contact. Yes, so that's how come I started that, and that's where everything started for me for software QA. Yeah.
Um, okay, that's very interesting. I think I've I've heard quite a number of stories, but I think yours is also unique and like in a different
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Okay. You have a background in IT law. Um. From what you've
Mhm.
told me, it looks like you started testing before you did your masters, I guess.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So what influenced you to do the IT law? Just I'm just curious.
I know, right? So it's just a 1 year course. So once I was doing, I mean, whilst in tech, I've just been wondering, okay, so what are really the laws governing this whole space, right? It was more of a curiosity than I was learning it for my work. Let me put it that way, right? And I remember I used to tell a friend of mine who is a lawyer, and then I used to communicate to another friend of mine that, oh, this tech law, let me just see what the law is saying. And it wasn't like I was a law fanatic as well. I wasn't into law or regulations or anything, but that thing was just there. So University of Ghana Law School started this twin programs for the fields, right? Yeah. And so that's when I took. And they came to me that, hey, University of Ghana is doing this course 1 year. I think you'd be interested. You've been talking about tech law, tech law. And for a moment, I was like, okay, I've been talking about it, but what am I going to use it for? But I mean, I got a push, I took it, and it's been good because it brought my mind to the regulatory aspect of things, that almost everything or every field or industry is regulated. I've not really thought about that. It wasn't something I used to think about. And for tech, it's also an interesting space that is regulated. And sometimes I found out that tech really runs faster than our policies and the regulation, right? So my how it's really influenced QA for me was, first of all, the most popular topic on data protection, right? Data
Yeah.
protection and privacy. So it brought my mind to that anytime I was testing. a product or accessing a product, I'm just thinking about, okay, is it, should you take this information at all from the person, right? Do you need this information you are taking, even if it's a simple form that I am, do you really need these phone numbers and email addresses you are taking? I was looking at unauthorized access, like it brought my mind to that side, and then the aspect of compliance as well.
Hmm.
So there are things that, okay, the software you are developing based on that field, there are things that you need to follow. There are, I mean, standards, if I should put it, that there are standards, there are regulatory standards that you need to follow. So those things, it brought my mind to those things, let me put it that way, when it comes to testing. Yeah.
Okay. So I think when I got to know about the film, I think that was one of the things that I was like my mind went to. It's not just testing the software, but it's a compliance to a lot of things, because I think there was one time I had a conversation with my boss, and he was telling me that, oh, there are lots of people that say, oh, I have a software, I have a software, I have a software.
Yeah.
But from where he sits, most of these softwares are not compliant. So sometimes when they even have to integrate them with their systems, they are checking out and they are looking at all these things. And I
Yeah.
think these are some of the things we need to be making awareness. Um, we need to be making
About,
about yes, because people are
yeah.
just building
One,
softwares and they're not even paying attention to these things. Next thing you know, your
yeah,
information is just
that's
out there.
very true. That's very true. One thing I forgot to mention was I also learned that, people have wonderful tech ideas, right? Applications that can move the earth to the sun and back, and we'll all be safe and all that, right? But actually, sometimes they are not able to push through because some of them break regulation, you know.
Okay.
And so, yeah, some of them break regulation. So sometimes you actually need to talk to, especially when it comes to fintech and all that, you need to talk to the regulators or whoever it is to know that your solution, whatever you are doing, it's according to,
Yeah.
the law, and you find yourself in trouble in any way or fined. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So next question. I mean, you worked with the banking sector for quite a number of years. What are some of the unique challenges and some of the opportunities that you have seen and you lived in in that industry?
Mm, the banking sector.
Mm.
It, it's, I think the financial sector is one of the high risk industries, right? The health, financial, aviation, and all that. Yeah. So for me, the challenges has to do with one, governance. I mean, before coming in, the places I've worked, developing software, like you don't have to go through a lot of process. Okay. They want to do this, they want to build this feature. Like the process is much faster.
Mm.
Okay. But then for the space like the banking sector, because it's high risk, there's a lot of governance you go through even before the software starts, even before developers touch any code. There are a lot of things that you need to do, right? Even before it starts. Then after it starts, there are a lot of approvals you need to get. It needs to go through like some units. So it's not just you, the software development team sitting somewhere, building your thing and you think you can just push it.
It looks
No.
like Joshua can relate, the way he's.
Yeah. It has to
Okay,
go.
sorry about this though. I work in a financial institution, so I know how.
Ah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's one of the challenges actually. And meeting deadlines, you're pushing deadlines ahead and all that. And so because of that, it makes it for me, um when it comes to working in an agile way, right? Because of these governance systems that you need to go through, you have to, it makes you want to, it forces the team sometimes to pile up features and push out, okay,
Mm.
which I'm really not in favor of that. I like pushing out things or going live with things in bits. So for me, that would be the whole governance and bureaucracy. And it's more like the agency attached to things. And so you must be very careful because Charlie, this is some people's money you are dealing with. So you have to be extra careful in what you are doing. I think being careful is not a challenge though, but then um, it's more like being extra careful, having a second eye in whatever you are doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and for me, the opportunities that gives me is like understand the fintech industry, how things work, because I now learn about how these monies we send across mobile money and the transfers that we do on our apps. I now sort of get that understanding of how they work and even work in the banking sector on a whole, that the various units that come together for us to see the things we see in the banks, the services they are offering us and all that, and understanding that so the regulatory, the master or the boss of the banks is Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana regulates them, and knowing that Bank of Ghana is their boss, right? So they try and follow whatever they want to do. And one opportunity that is more like on my heart is the fact that working in that industry, like is more about the financial aspects, right?
Yeah.
While everybody is touched in a way by finance, right? Everything, most of it, and money is one of the basic things to run
I
your
feel
life.
you yourself, you're even good with money because I remember when we did the MOT thing.
Yeah. Oh, come on, that one, the Abia was keeping your money for you. Yeah. So I feel it makes me feel like, oh, I'm contributing one way or the other because Charlie, people bank with you and the software they are using the software, so you need to make sure it's good for them. They are not losing out using the application. Yeah.
Okay. So this I think this is out of curiosity. So um is it that you are just testing the applications, or it goes beyond just the, like, let's say the mobile app that you're using? You test in-house software, like um let's say if, okay, so for me, I work in the Oracle space. I mean, if a client comes to, let's say, EcoBank, or Stanbic is using Oracle or a software like Oracle, does your testing experience extend to the in-house applications that you are using, or it's just the ones that the customers use?
Um, I would say both.
Okay.
Um, if I'm getting you rightly, and maybe I would try and answer and see if
Okay.
that answers your question. But then the various applications, interact with different third-party systems. Okay, some yes, they interact with different third-party softwares as well and APIs and all that. And sometimes, or most of the time, it's impossible to do a thorough test of all these APIs that they are interacting with, because sometimes it's that you are moving into someone else's space.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
So we have in-house, there are in-house applications, right, that you would use, I mean, for your company, okay, or for the people that are working in there. Maybe if it's an accounting team,
Mm,
there's an application for them which you need to test for the
mm,
accounting team to use. So there's that, and then there's the software that customers also use. So we test that as well,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. And if there's a service that probably we are getting from other people, we are getting a service into your system and you want to see how it works, how it integrates. I think from my experience, not just working in a bank, but then from my former places that I've worked, there have been some APIs that we've asked from MTN. Sometimes you ask from maybe cellular and all those places. right? When they give you that API, you need to test that it is actually serving what you asked for. So in that case, yes, you get to test a third party system as well.
Okay. I think you actually answered the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so now let's look at the business part. Um, you started Ministry of Testing, and I think one of our aims is to create awareness in the quality assurance space. I mean, we want people to know that okay, the space exists and there are opportunities in that space.
Yeah.
One of the big things that I've noticed that employers don't they don't appreciate the space. Like you testing your software, they don't invest into that. I mean, they just say, "Oh, test the software," but they don't know that there's more into testing the software than you um, going in checking if the software is working fine. Okay, that's it. Like most of them don't even know that.
Yeah.
What, based on your experience, why would
Mhm.
you, or what would you say to businesses to encourage um, software testing or the culture of software testing in companies?
Yeah. So I like the fact that you mentioned the culture of software testing.
Mm,
Um, there are some companies who do not hire testers, right? And but then they test, right? Um, if how do I even put it? If you are thinking about your product, if you are thinking about really your customers and you want them to have a smooth ride, right? Or at least 99% smooth ride. I'm saying I am leaving the 1% for the unknown. Yeah, a 99% smooth ride on your application. I think you would want to see how it works. You would want to experience how it works. If there is a money making point, there's a business value, there's a particular aspect of that product, right? That is where your value is. That is where you are making your money. I think you would want to find out how it is working, right?
yeah.
If you've built an application and maybe for your application, people signing up and paying $1 is how you make your money. That is the I mean, that's how you are making that money. I think you would want to find out if you are really receiving that $1 people are signing up on, or it's rather debiting your account some way, somehow, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's more of yes, the developers have built something. You cannot afford to hire a tester, but there must be that culture of testing. You can sit down with your team, think about it. One, three things I normally use, I think I learned that from somewhere is what what is the product? Why have we built this product? What is it doing? How can it fail? What can go wrong? What is the worst thing that can happen if someone else is using this? And I think that businesses can think about these things. What's the worst thing that can happen to your application? If it's a banking, a fintech application, what's the worst thing that can happen? Right? When you think about it that way, you safeguard yourself to test those scenarios such that you know that you are fine. Okay. So whether you are hiring a software tester or not, that testing culture must be there, and you must know that this thing I am pushing out or this thing I am taking out, I am safe. Even if it goes out there to the dogs and to the robbers and whoever they are, to the hackers, I think I'll be fine. I am bold enough to take it out for today. But then if you just push it away because you think you're going to spend more time testing or you're going to hire someone to test, you pay for it in another way. You either pay for it when you go live and earn some tech debt and then tarnish your business brand or image, or you do that in-house. one of the people I worked for. So before they hired me, they told me about their story of losing $20,000, and they lost the deal because the company asked them if they had a quality assurance team on board, and they didn't at that time. Right. So they lost. So immediately they started thinking about QA or testing for their company, right? Before I came in. So I was told about that. And that is what pinched them, or that is what awakened them about testing and having a dedicated time focused testing on their application. So I don't think you have to wait to be bitten first, right? I think you can learn from other people. Yeah, be sure that you're making your money first
Yeah.
before you go out. Yeah.
Okay. Um. So, I think I was about to ask a follow-up question, but I think you answered. Um. Apart from this instance, people losing contracts because they don't have software testers on their team. Do you know of any other scenarios where there was no software tester on the team? They built the application and went live. I mean, what are some of the possible things that can happen when people don't have software testers on their team?
Right.
Mm.
I think so for any other application, right? You end up the customer becomes your tester in a way, an unintentional tester, because you might benefit from a customer who cares enough to get back to you, right? To give you feedback that there's something wrong in your software. So some of these instances, if you are not lucky, you might not get that feedback from the customer. For for the financial sector, for example, I think from my experience, or from stories also that I have heard, I think usually people would like to test the edge cases. Okay, people would like to test the edge cases. There have been times where people have pushed the solution out that ended up in, how do I even put it, losing money instead of gaining money. Either they broke a regulation, right? And so they had to be fined. You know, Bank of Ghana fines companies, they fine, um, how do I even put it, banks and all that. Yes, when they breach anything, they fine them. So you might be fined.
Yeah.
You either lose, sometimes you, right now there's social media, and so people may not necessarily come to you that, hey, your application is not working. They'll just come and post it as one of their posts. I mean, probably that day they have no content to post, and they started using your application, and then they found that out. You would end up coming to the comment section to apologize, you see, because they have used it, and then they didn't experience it well, and you never know who would, you never know what they are going to type, you never know their followers, it's just going to drive them away. So it's more, I feel it's more of the unknown. The impact out there is unknown for me. You might know some, but then you don't know the extent to which that bag or software has gone, how many customers it has driven away, or the potential customers that you could have gotten, right? If things went well for them. Did I deviate?
No, you didn't. It was spot on. Okay. Adia, based on experience,
Yeah.
what would what are some of the skills or some, I mean, soft skills? I mean, I've lost my train of thought. Sorry. So, what are some of the skills you would advise, like maybe a junior tester or someone who wants to enter the testing field to learn? I mean, in terms of soft skills as well, what do you what should they have? Like, is it critical thinking, all those things? What should they develop to be able to enter the software QA space?
I think if you, for me, yes, there's critical thinking and all those things we usually mention. But if you would ask me, I'll tell you to read.
Mm,
Read and listen to people in the field.
mm,
Okay. There are there are a number of people in the field. They are on social media posting almost every week or
mm,
something. Get to know their voices, get to know what there are lots of schools of thought
okay.
about testing,
Mm,
right? And you need to get the balance.
yeah.
Okay? There are some people think, hey, manual testing is it. There's some people think automated testing is a waste of time or it's useless. You need to get the balance of those schools of thought and our school of thoughts. I mean those batches, right? You need to get the balance, and they are out there. In
Mm,
every field, we have expertise. So I'll tell you to read,
mm,
get books and read. If it's audio books, I know this sounds a bit antique in a way, reading, but
no, it's not
read.
though. I don't
Yeah,
think
there are
so.
lots of books
Yeah.
on software testing you can read, and as you read, this is it. You get clues. You'll be directed as you read. As you read blog posts, as you read articles, as you read um, the social media posts that are teaching something, or as you read books, you'd be directed. You know, you'd be directed. You'll be led on what to do. You pick the interest, what you want to get. They will form your thoughts. They will form. It's more like, see it as someone has gone through a path, okay, and written a book or written a post or an article, so that you don't have to go through all that, you see. So learn, read, just open up, read, and get to know about the system you are testing. You need to understand, you have to know the product. um when I was working with Viamo had a team like in QA, right? We had a QA team. And in the QA team, we had four teams in the QA team, right? People and their areas of focus. So we had a team, release testing, team. I think Chelsea is here. Chelsea, I worked with Chelsea. Release testing, we had learning and product knowledge, right? So learning and product knowledge it was a specialized team, like some of us focused on that, to understand parts of the system that we are testing. Okay, how it is built, the databases, the systems they are interacting with, how they work, the common issues you find, how to troubleshoot them, and all that. So when you are fortunate, or I mean, there are lots of applications around, you need to learn. Just ask questions. How is this thing working? If it has to take you to the basics of HTML and coming back to microservices and all that, just do that, and it's going to take time. But then I think in our world, people are more willing to help. I think so, unless you are in a team that is not helpful. But most of the teams I've worked in, most of the people I meet like to share their knowledge. So I think you should understand the products that you are working with. And anytime you ask yourself, what can go wrong? What is this? Why this product? Why was it built? Who was it built for? What can go wrong? How does it hurt the customer, or how does it hurt the business? How do I prevent that, or how do I test or bring out that trait in the software that can make maybe either the business or the customer get hurt, right? How do you do that? I think it would help. Yeah. So for us, we need to think about both ways, the business and then the end user. You see, the end user is for business, the end user is where we get our value from, right? And so you're thinking of the end user, so that the end user feels comfortable to use the application, and then you get whatever you want from them. But you also need to think about the business too, such that yes, you are giving the end user what he's asked for, but then the business is also not hurting. Okay, so in a space of like a financial application, you are thinking, yes, the end user is using the application, probably making some debits and credits and all that, but is the company also losing, the fintech company also losing money in a way, you know Are they, what other ways are they hurting? Right? Are they taking like these data protection issues and all that that could get them into trouble? So we need to think about that. And I would say that don't be afraid to ask questions. I'll say feel free and get into the field. Don't forget about the giants on the land. Immediately forget about the giants on the land, or feeling you are too small and all that. Any little thing you learn is valuable. I have learned that whether you learned it in software testing, or you learned it in economics or math or sociology, there is a way you can apply it as you grow. Our learnings are progressive, and you can apply it in the field that you find yourself. So I would say just be bold at it. Just read. It will lead you. If it's something that you are really interested in, it will lead you to build an automated testing framework. It will lead you to test an application nobody has even sent you to test in the first place. It will lead you to learn about CI/CD, DevOps. Is going to lead you as you read, as you learn how people make their mistakes and learning from them. I think, yeah, you are going to get it. Yeah, so read. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Um, so we are getting towards your personal life, I mean your growth and then your leadership mindset. I mean 10 years of experience. That's no joke.
Yeah.
Yes, that's no joke.
I'm feeling so old right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
funny enough, when I saw you in person, I was like, that's Adea.
Why?
Oh, you don't look old at all. No, not at all.
Pardon?
You don't look old at all. Yeah, I was like,
Oh yeah, I'm so young.
yes, that's nice. Um, so what are some of the values? What are the things that have kept you committed? What has made you consistent in the field? What keeps you going? What is making you evolve every day? We want to know those things, especially in the tech space and
Mhm.
being a woman in the tech space. I mean, me, I'll be honest, there are challenges. We don't have it easy like the way the men do. So, what are some of the things that have kept you going all this years, 10 years? That's a lot.
I think there's support. Something that has kept me going is the fact that um people, let me just say people. One of the first things I'm going to mention is people. And for me, I would give credit to men, right? I think right from school, JHS, I had brothers, right? I have brothers, and I happened to be the last born. So they taught me through to write my BEC. They'll come do special classes for me, SHS, they will teach me. It's uni that I became stubborn small. I wasn't learning, but yeah, they'll teach me and all that. But I think if you'd ask me my career and academic um, trajectory, I've had a lot of motivation from men. My brothers, and even when starting the software testing, the friend who got like helped me. I mean, told me about the opportunity. Wendell, I mean, even after I had gotten it, he kept on pushing me. Hey, you can do this. He made me learn how to build WordPress sites. So I even build WordPress sites for people. That's more like one of the side gigs somewhere. I don't even pay attention to. You know, and all that. So I would say people have kept me going. People who want to see you do well. And I think that if you yourself you don't want to do well and people push you, it might not end up well, right? So I think yes, I also want to do well, and I get the encouragement from people. Hey, have you seen this software? Let's you do this. Do you know how to build? Have you heard of this application? There is this new skill. There is this. There is that. As you interact like community, you talk to your friends in the space or your colleagues, you get to know this and the need of the industry, trends, right? And it's almost always as if even the person who is most latest with technology is even last, because new things are always coming up every day. And so it forces you, or let's say it forces you to be on top of your game, right? It forces you to still deliver value. Another part that I not recently though, but some years ago realized was the fact that you are bringing in value. Okay, somebody, whoever employed you, or even, I don't know if you are going to ask me in my maybe upcoming questions, but the concept of, maybe let me get a bit philosophical.
Oh, you just flow. I mean,
Yeah, the
you
concept
just
of
flow.
work, the concept of work, right? The concept of we working. I'm not talking about job, being employed, which is also part, but the concept of work, whether it is chores, whether it is somebody running, you are running an errand for someone, whether you're taking care of the sick at home, a family member who is sick, whatever it is, keeping your space clean, whoever takes out your trash, whoever cleans your garden, whatever, the concept of work itself is so that each of us, everyone, will be valuable to the other. It's God's own way of taking care of us, right? Or taking care of another human being. Because if the trash guy doesn't come to your space, I don't think you're a Bola girl, right?
No.
You don't, you don't do Zoom line. If they don't come in the next week, for me, if they don't come the next week, Charlie, I start thinking, you know, every work is important. And so if I draw that thing back to me as a software tester, QA or developer, whoever it is, it's more like this application I'm not we are building is going to provide some value for someone so that they can do something, right? If you used to be my former place, Viamo, it was a development sector where we provide information services to people in rural areas. People needed this information so that they could act. People needed this information so that they could get help immediately. You know, these short codes, and then they get training, a lot of things helping people out. Right now, I'm in the banking sector. People need to work with this application so they can transact faster. They can send money to whoever, business can flow. You understand? And so I find that valuable. And that alone is a push for me. You see, when you find that purpose, that whatever work you are doing is purposeful, that you are serving somebody, unless you are not doing fraud or you're hurting somebody somewhere, whatever it is. I'm assuming all of us are doing good work. What Yes, whatever it is, you are helping someone to live. You're helping someone do something. And for me, it's a push. It's enough push for me. Okay, it's enough push for me when it comes to software testing. And yeah, I'll say people this value that we give, and then the drive to still stay relevant so that you can still provide that value that you are giving to people. Yeah, I think that is it for me.
Okay. Thank you so much. Another question. Has there ever been? I know. I mean, definitely. In maybe you have been assigned a task, and then you are like, okay, can I do this thing? Especially when you mentioned at the beginning of your software testing career, you said you didn't know anything about it. What are some of the things that um, kept you going? Okay, I'm going to learn. I'm going to read. I mean, just to motivate someone who is doing something that they are new in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there's that part of um us thinking that we don't know enough, number one. And sometimes it's true, we don't know enough. And I think we know ourselves and see where we are, you see, and then start from there. if you are working in a team or if you are working with people, I think it will be good to just go to them. If you need help, ask for help. You see, for them to explain things to you. This also means that you are going to be led to sit and learn. For that one, no one can do it for us, right? And so, one of the ways I would say that can clear some of these feelings of incompetency, right, is to just head on, face it head on. Okay, and face it head on. Don't do it alone, do it with people. If you know someone who knows it, approach the person, let the person help you. The person may direct you to resources. Right now there are a lot of resources, but it's the discipline to face it head on, and then understand little by little. I think also we should appreciate the fact that we are making progress with our learning, okay, and what we want to do. I also think you can actually like I said, examine yourself, but you can actually also know exactly what you need right now. What do you need right now to be able to give the value that you need to give to the workplace, the people who have employed you, or wherever you are? What do you need right now? I think you can start from there. You see, it's just one step at a time. What do you need right now? Maybe you want to be a developer. What do you need right now? You need to understand program. Maybe you don't even you don't have you've not you don't know what zeros and ones or bytes and bits and all that. You don't know any of that, right? So I think it's about what you need right now. If you look at the whole thing, you may get discouraged. So let's do one step at a time, and it may look small, but it can do much. I think when I was working with Get Innotized, I worked with Azubi Africa because it's almost like they are almost like sister companies. And one of the things we're interviewing candidates, okay, who wanted to come to the program. And one of the things that we looked out for, okay, I think the program was for data analytics, and then I think software development as well. One of the things, we were not looking out for people who had experience in the field because we understood that they were coming in to learn and then probably be absorbed into the company to work. One of the things we looked out for was, has the person shown any interest in this field they are applying for? Right? And so, yes, we'll interview and all that, but when we look at your CV or we talk to you, like, okay, oh, you could say that the person has taken an online course on data science, right? The person has taken some Udemy course here or there and all that. That alone gives the person a lot of points, whether they have touched data science or not. But the fact that they have made an effort to learn something in that field alone, it is good. So don't look down on yourself. You have something to offer. You have gone to school from KG1 to now. You can give. There's something you can give, and just start small, where the little thing you can do, just start it and show people that, okay, this is what you have done. Wherever you can record it, just record it to show your progress. And I think little by little you will see ourselves grow. We'll see ourselves also help somebody when the person encounters the same problems that we encounter. Yeah, so don't close in, don't hide yourself, don't feel um damp, or reach out. Don't be shy that you don't know, and let's learn. As for the learning, we have to face it head on and do it ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you. I think one thing that has run through the whole conversation is we don't stop learning. We have to keep learning, and
Yeah.
we starting from where we are. We know where we are um, at this point, and then we know where we are getting to. And so we just put in the work and keep learning. We don't stop learning. Thank you so much, Adea. Um, I'm ending with the questions from me. I want to give the chance to the audience to also ask questions. I like your mindset, Adea. I have really enjoyed the the whole
Thank you.
conversation. Yes, I really love your mindset.
Thank
Questions?
you.
Anybody? Joshua.
Wow. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone here.
Mm.
So, my first question: why software test? I don't know whether I joined in late. So, why software testing?
When you say why software testing, is it
Yeah.
to me or why software testing? As in, why should we test? Why should we do
Uh,
software?
oh, okay, sure. So, why did you decide to go that route? Or what sparked your interest?
Okay, so first of all, I got into it without necessarily knowing about it before. Okay, and getting into it, I realized that I like the combination it brought. It brought in the technical part, it brought in the social part, it brought in the critical thinking part of it. And I that blend, right? That software testing gives you that blend of business, customer, tech, when it's a developer, the developer is just looking at just building. There are a few developers who really think about how the customer is going to use the thing, what it is doing. Sometimes I've had experience, not once, not twice, of developers who are developing something and they really don't know the requirements like that. Right? So I mean, they said the developer here, maybe they can testify. They really don't know the requirements like that. Just okay, they're supposed to get some data from this database, blah blah blah. They're just doing it, but they don't really know what it is serving. So for me, it was the blend of it, and I think I enjoyed it when my boss then Dan Benz was introducing us with the books I read, the concepts about it, and all that. So I think I just told myself, I think I want to do this. I think I'm going to stick to this instead of yeah, data analysis and all that. Yeah, I think I wanted to do it. So that's where it started from. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And one last question. So, do you have to know how to code to become a software tester?
No, but it is good if you know.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, about that, I think that discourages people a lot. Um, you don't have to know how to code to test software, right? But just like how do I even put it? I want to use an example. For you to get to wherever you need to get to, maybe from the Accra Mall to the airport, you can use a bicycle, you can walk, you know, you can do a number of things. Walking makes you stronger, exercise and all that. But then there are tools you can use. Okay, I think I just want to emphasize on tools. And coding is one of the skills you can get to enhance your work. Not necessarily for test automation. No. Sometimes you need it to generate data for you. Okay. There have been times I've used code to generate data for me to test. Maybe it's 1,000. I need to test with 1,000 entries. I'm not going to sit down to, maybe if it's just names, I'm not going to sit down to generate names or ages between this range, 1,000 of them with different formats and JSON and all that. You need code to help you do that. So thank God for LLMs and generative AI and all that who can help us do these things. But it is just nice if you know at least the basics of coding and all that. But if you don't know and you still want to do testing, don't be afraid. Please go into it. The interest and the passion will move you to learn it. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Joshua, for your questions. Any more? I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some software testers also on the call. I see Ikena. Ikena is
Yay, that's my boss.
yes.
My
So
Ministry of Testing
yes,
boss.
I see Jojo Apia. Yes, he also works for Axolotl. They do software quality assurance for companies, and then they train people who want to learn software quality assurance too as well. So you
Jojo's,
cannot,
yeah.
yeah, he's
I owe Jojo a call. I took his number and I
yes, yeah. Um, please, if I have not acknowledged you, I see Chelsea too. I think Adia mentioned that she's worked with you for a while. Frank, is it the Frank I know from the MOT session? If not, yes. So these are also people who are also in the software testing space. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, Frank, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Moreover, I'm not a fan you are talking about. I'm a student of Ghana Telekom.
Oh, okay.
I'm a student of Ghana Telekom.
It's lovely to have you on. Yes. What do you study,
Yeah, I'm
please?
of IT.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting. Yes.
yeah. So I saw the link on a friend who's also an IT student WhatsApp status. So I decided to join the
Can you
meeting
let me
because
know which friend is that?
he's a student of Accra Technical University.
No, I just want to know the person's name.
It's called Joy.
Joy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So though I'm a beginner in writing codes, and I also want to know more about the software testing. That's why, as I saw the link, I was like, yeah, these are some of the things I wanted to know. So I should just join the meeting. And
That's
if there's any guideline or any guide procedure that I can learn more on this, I will get to know through the meeting.
okay. Frank, do you know what? Find me on LinkedIn. My name is Pearl Akondo. Axolotl is having like a free 6 week refresher course on software testing. I think you should also take advantage of that if
Yeah.
you want to go into the software testing space. So find me on LinkedIn. I'll send you the link so that you register for it and join. I think don't miss this opportunity. It's free. So
Okay.
so yes, don't miss this opportunity.
Please come again. The name again.
So my name is Pearl Akondo. So the
And Phil,
link
can you
is
put in the chats for
yes,
him? So
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
the links. Yeah.
Yes. So find me on LinkedIn and let's talk more about it. Okay. Um any words, any closing remarks, Ikena, Tim, Chelsea, anybody? Oh, I see Joseph here. Joseph, thank you for joining. I see Kofi Achia. I'm trying to put a face to the name, but I don't know.
This has been very insightful. Thank you so much, Adea, and appreciate the talk.
Hi, Jojo.
Hello,
Adea,
Adea.
please do well in call. She said she
Yeah.
owes you a call. She should do well in call.
No worries at all. We'll definitely meet up a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay, now anything for us. I think Ikena was the first software tester I had on the podcast.
Wow.
Yes, Fred, your Adia, your friend, your best friend is here, Fred.
Fred
Yes,
is my best friend.
he's your best friend. Yes, he says he knows you.
Oh, really?
I said, Fred, I put you on the spot. Oh, oh, he knows you. He'll catch up after the call.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a very good one. Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
Oh, Ikena, please, the floor is yours. Oh. was just playing around.
Yeah, I'm just commending Adea for the nice presentation. I mean, not presentation though, but for the whole discussion. It was a good one, and it was a very nice perspective it came from, and it's been a very educative one for myself.